We are live. All right, so we're going to finish up 3.2 today. And in yesterday's homework, we gave stuff to you already factored, but this time we're going to ask you to factor it. P of x equals x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x. And I say, I want you to graph that. So, how about Tyler? What do you think you'd do in this case?
So it's going to be starting the lower part. So like do the product.
Okay, so your power function is what again? Y equals x to the third. Okay. And it's going to start
The bottom left.
bottom left, and it's going to go
Top right.
top right. Okay, so we know the end behavior. Okay. So that's a good start. I guess we can see that. And then what? You need to figure out where it crosses, right?
Yeah.
Where does it cross?
Really cross that. It's where you're really sure.
Okay. Anybody got any ideas? Eunice,
Is it 0, 2, and 3?
can't hear you.
0, positive 2, and 3?
Oh boy, you're awfully fast on that. How did you speak that so fast? Slow down for us slow people.
Because you're just trying to equal to 0. So
Okay, we need to factor this, right?
oh,
Okay,
that was right?
maybe, I don't know.
0.
So how do you factor that?
You take an x out,
Take an x out, and we're left with
x squared,
x squared
negative 2x,
minus 2x
and then just negative 3.
negative 3. All right, can we factor that?
I don't know. So it's 0.
Okay, well, we'll get to the 0 in a minute. You're correct. But let's factor this. So I'll leave the x there. And since you want to say x equals 0, I'll put it there. Okay, what does this factor into? What are your factors of x squared?
Just x.
X and x. What are your factors of 3? There's only 2
3 and
factors.
1.
3 and 1. Okay? All right, now we got to get a negative 2 in here somehow. So it's either going to be plus, minus, minus, plus, 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 minus, minus. So how do we choose?
Is it positive and negative?
We go positive and negative. Let's see. So that gives us a positive 3 minus 1 is a positive 2. So that's not right, is it? So what's the next guess?
Negative and positive.
Negative and positive. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. And a negative times a positive is a negative, so we're good, right? All right. So now I think you said there was a 2 in there. 2 is not an answer, okay? So x equals 0 or x equals negative 1. And our multiplicities are, now that you've got that, we'll go back to Tyler. What are your multiplicities for all those? They're all 1. So I got a multiplicity of 1 on all of those, okay? So now I'm going to put on x equals 0, x equals 3, 1, 2, 3, and x equals minus 1. Okay, so I'll move this over. So we know it's going to start low. We're coming to negative 1. What happens? We cross. Are you sure? Okay, that's good. You seem sure. Then we're going to go to 0 and going to cross again. And we're going to go to 3. Going to cross again. Okay? Piece of cake, right? Okay. So we're going to get into factoring all these things. That's going to be the fun part of next week. Okay. So let's do some more of these. How about P of x equals negative 2x to the fourth minus x cubed plus 3x squared. And we're going to pick on Jeffrey. I think it's your turn.
Okay. We're gonna factor out the x squared.
Pull out the x squared. And we're left with
A negative 2x squared minus x plus 3x.
Oh,
Plus 3.
0.03. Okay. Now I don't really like having a negative there.
So then
I could have factored out the negative here,
you just flip
and then flip all my sides. Okay? I think that's a little easier. All right, can we factor this?
yes.
We can. So I got my minus x squared here,
And you're gonna have a 2x and x,
2x and an x,
and then 3 by 1.
3 and a 1. So that gives me a 3x and a 2x. So I could get an x there if I wanted to. So how do I get my signs?
So it's going to be plus 3 minus 1.
Plus 3 minus 1. So plus 3 minus 2 is plus 1. And positive times a negative is a negative, so we got it. Okay? All right, so that's there. So my zeros are at
So your 0 is going to be at 0.
x equals 0,
X equals negative 3 halves.
negative 3 halves, x equals 1. What's my multiplicities? At 0, I've got a multiplicity of 2,
1,
1,
1.
and 1. What's my power function?
That's going to be x to the 4th.
Okay, now I want to make sure, I probably should have made that clear on the quiz. Make sure that we're not just saying x to the 4th, we're saying y equals,
Y equals negative.
and it's a negative x to the 4th. Okay? All right, so the power function says what? Let's pick on Nathan already. Okay, we've got a power function of negative x to the 4th. Does that start high or low?
It starts with
Are you sure?
no.
No, you're not sure? What do you think? Maybe. How do we know?
That's what x squared is.
Okay,
Squared is even, so it's x to the 4th.
we had a good long chat in my other class, and so how do we know? Does it start higher? Should we vote? Let's vote. Who says it starts high and ends high? Nobody? Who says it starts low and ends low? Okay, majority. How do we know?
Negative x to the 4th.
It's the negative x to the 4th. What does x to the 4th look like?
So 4th looks like forever.
Okay, we say parabola, but I'm going to say it's more of a u, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And x to the 6th?
A square u.
A more square u. It almost looks like University of Utah u, right? Okay. So the negative just flips it around, right? So it's going to start low and low. Does that make sense, Nathan? Did you learn something today?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I've succeeded. Every day people are learning stuff. Okay? All right, so we're going to go to 0. We're going to go to negative 1.5. And we're going to go to 1. Okay? So we're going to start low. We're going to get to negative 1.5. And what's going to happen, Nathan? We'll go with the other Nathan this time. What's going to happen here? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to cross it. We're going to go to 0. And then what's going to happen here? It's going to bounce. going to touch, and then at positive 1, it's going to cross. Okay? Perfect. Are you feeling good about this? Is this getting easier? Okay? All right, how about oh, here's a good one. Oh, that was barely on the screen. You guys just tell me that. Here we go. P of x equals x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 8. It must be Nicole's turn. Are we on the screen? We're not on the screen, are we? Now we're on the screen. Okay. What do you think? Can I add this? Factor it. We definitely want to factor it. How do we factor it? Don't know. Want to phone your friend Bailey? How do we factor this, Bailey?
I split them up into the x.
You split them up into two groups? Two groups. That's a good hint. Okay, and so the first thing you can factor what? X squared. And you're left with x minus 2.
And then for the next one, we have
Negative 4.
We're left with
X minus 2. That was kind of lucky. Okay, so these x minus 2's can now be factored out, right? Okay, so if we pull out the x minus 2, what's left? X squared minus 4, and then we'll go back to Nicole since we let her off the hook. Can you factor that? Can't hear you. Well, we can, but I want to factor this. You know what that factors into? No, but you want to phone your friend Cameron.
It would be x minus 2 and x minus 2.
X minus 2, that would be one factor, but the other one was wrong.
X plus 2.
X plus 2, right? That's the difference of perfect squares. And of course, we still have our x minus 2 here. We can combine those so that those would be, Nathan?
I just have a question. If you're taking, like, what happens to the second x minus 2? They just cancel off 0. So, like, you factor
Okay,
out
so I have a common factor here, x minus 2, right?
Yeah.
So I factored that out to here. Okay?
Okay.
And then I'm left with x squared minus 4.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I just didn't know. I thought you had to, like, continue. I didn't know you just, like, when you got the 2x minus 2, I didn't know you could just take that to 1.
Okay.
Never mind. I got
So
it.
you good?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what can we do with both of these?
Square root.
We can combine them and write them as x minus 2 quantity squared. Oh, sorry, one of those is a plus 2, x plus 2. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, this is going to be all the fun stuff, Nicole. So now, what are your zeros? -2 or x equals +2, okay? So what is the multiplicity on the +2? 2, and on the-2, multiplicity is 1. What's your power function? y equals x cubed. You're never going to forget the y though, especially on the quiz or the test, right? Okay. And so that's going to start high or low. The power function can start high. You sure? No? Okay, so we got to make sure that we're sure. We should know how to graph the power functions. We went over that a couple weeks ago. But Hallie's going to tell me for sure it's going to start. You sure? Okay. We start low and end high. We're going to go to -2 and +2. Okay. And so, Daniel, when I get here to -2, what happens? It's going to cross. And when I get to +2, it's going to bounce. Okay? All right. You going to ace my quiz, Nicole, on Monday? That was good. Jeffrey.
Just real quick, when you factored it out, I understand how you got the x squared times it by the x minus 2 and minus 4, and then you have the x minus 2. And then you did x minus 2, and then you have the x squared minus 4, and you combine the 2. And what happened to the other x minus 2 on the right side?
Okay. So let me see if I can explain it this way. If we start here with the x, you can see you can factor out an x squared, right? And so I'm left with just the x and the -2. Okay? Now, the same thing happens here. I've got an x minus 2 that's common to both. So I'm going to pull it out to here, and I'm left with that x squared minus 4. So I'm treating this x minus 2 the same way I treated this x squared. Does that make sense? A little bit. So you'll definitely want to practice that. Okay? Will we factor it out like that? Yeah.
So it's just like, he's just wondering why it's not x minus 2 squared.
Because there's only one. Okay? Here, let me back up a second.
You're not really like combining them. It's just
X
like-
cubed minus 2x squared. Okay? I'm pulling out an x squared here, right?
Yes.
And I'm left with x minus 2. Okay? Oh, we're off camera. Thank you. Okay? Now, the same thing here. I've got x minus 2. Let me write it this way. X minus 2 times x squared minus 4 times x minus 2. Okay? These are common factors, right?
Correct.
And so I'm going to pull them out. Okay? I'm pulling one out of each one of those. Okay? And I'm left with this in the middle. X squared minus 4. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, yeah. Definitely need to know how to factor. We're going to use that technique a lot. Okay? Any other questions? All right. Okay, one last thing we'll cover on here, and then we'll jump into 3.3 a little bit. If I had p of x equals x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 16x squared minus 4x plus 48, okay? Now, as of right now, that might be a little complicated to factor, but next week we're going to learn how to factor that. So my main question to you is, how many turning points max do I have? Cameron?
3.
3, how'd you get that?
Because you take power function, which is that y is equal to x,
The power function is y equals x to the 4th,
and then you use minus
and you
1.
subtract 1, so your turn points equals 4 minus 1, which is 3. Okay? So we're good on that? Okay. So that's the end of 3.2. I do know that 3.3 is a little long, so this is going to be good to get started on it. We're not going to do much, but we're going to do enough here. So what I'd like to do is to do some long division. Okay. So 3.3, we're going to do long division of polynomials. Okay, so let's say that I have 6x squared minus 26x plus 12, and I want to divide by x minus 4. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it this way. I'm going to make x minus 4 my divisor, and I'm going to do the long division 6x squared minus 26x plus 12. Okay? Now on Monday I'll show you a shortcut on this, but there's also going to be another problem that we'll do that will not have a shortcut. Okay? So, can you divide, I'm going to ignore the 4 for a minute. Can you divide x into the 6x squared? Okay? Riley. X times what is 6x squared? 6x. Okay? 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times negative 4 is negative 24x. Okay? Now I'm going to subtract. Okay, this is an important step, so I'm going to subtract. I'm going to change all the signs so I don't mess up. Okay? 6x squared minus 6x squared, that's going to drop out. Negative 26x plus 24x is what, Joey? Is it 2x or negative 2x? Negative 2x. Make sure we get our signs right, because that'll mess it up if we don't. It's a real easy play to mess up signs. Okay? Does x go into negative 2x? Go with Lauren. Can you multiply something by x to get negative 2x? Negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. Okay, positive 8. Okay. Now I'm going to subtract, so I'm going to change my signs. It's a real easy place to mess up your signs, so make sure you're very careful on this. The 2x's are going to go away, and I'm going to get 12 minus 8, which is what, Maddie? 4. Does x go into 4? No. So this is my remainder. So here's how I want you to write the remainder. Plus 4 divided by x minus 4. That's your answer. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? All right, let's do another one. I am going to show you a shortcut on Monday, but I don't want to do that yet. And the shortcut will not work on this next problem that I'm going to do. So you're going to have to learn long division. Unless you don't want to get a good grade. Then you don't have to learn it. Okay? All right, so this is going to be, I'm going to just write it out this way. 8x to the 4th plus 6x squared minus 3x plus 1. And we divide that by 2x squared minus x plus 2. Okay? All right, so I think it must be Demi's turn. Demi, does 2x squared go into 8x to the 4th?
Yeah.
How many times? 4x squared, that's correct. 4x squared times 2x squared is 8x to the 4th. 4x squared times negative x Negative 4x cubed. You can see why I left myself a gap there, right? Okay. 4x squared times 2, 8x squared. And now I'm going to subtract. So change all your signs. It'll make your life a whole lot easier if you change your signs at this step. Okay? Well, that's going to go away. 0 and 4x cubed is what, Hallie? 4x cubed. 6x squared minus 8x squared. Hallie again?
Oh, sorry.
Negative 2x squared. Does 2x squared go into 4x cubed? Michael? Yes, how many times?
2x.
2x times. So 2x times 2x squared is 4x cubed. 2x times negative x,
Negative 2x squared.
negative 2x squared. 2x times 2,
4x.
4x. Now that's going to go away. That's going to go away. I've got negative 3x minus 4x is what, James?
Negative 7x.
Negative 7x. Does 2x squared go into negative 7x? No. So I'll bring the 1 down. That's my remainder. And how do I write that? Plus
Negative 7x.
negative 7x plus 1 divided by this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
2x squared minus x plus 2. I'm at the top here, sorry. Okay? So there you have it. We're out of time. So as far as homework, finish off the rest of 3.2 and 1 through 8. So quiz Monday 1 through 8, 2.3. Yes. This one here.
Having by the negative x. So that would be
2x squared times 2x squared is positive 4x cubed. 2x times negative x is negative 2x squared. And then I'm going to change my signs when I subtract. Okay. This is going to help us factor, by the way.
So I'm still really lost on how to get the zeros in the M1 and M2. I still have no clue. Not a clue. I've just been writing what you're writing.
I thought I knew what you meant.
And then I hope that it works, and then it like the one's different, and then.
Again, I get zeros, that's not how you get that.
It's just the.
Here, do you want to put this on the video, or do you want me not to? Okay, bonus lecture. We're going to go back to this problem here. Okay. You know, we have another class. I better not. But we'll just come meet me and just around the corner, and I'll show you guys if you want to. Oh, you do? You do too? Okay. Super fast. I've got a positive 2 because this is a 1.
That's the part
Does that make sense?
So
It's
you just take the opposite of this, or like whatever will make
No.
the 0, one of them makes the
Whatever
0.
makes the 0, that's this one.
Oh, and
And
then,
then the multiplicity is the exponent. Okay?
okay, I'm,
Okay.
okay. There's a
So
ball.
when you're dividing